We saw him with the left front tire going down after the 48 had stopped on the backstretch.
Looks like Elliott Sadler chose the inside, Rick.
Green flag back in the air. We're back underway.
I think that was a fairly easy decision for him, considering who was right behind him. Stay right in front of Ron Hornaday for about 70 laps or so, wouldn't he?
Yeah, they did it for the first 20 laps anyway.
Jason White with a good restart as he's challenging for the lead on the high side.
There's a little help from a guy that knows his way around this racetrack. Todd Bodine in that number 30 white Geico Toyota.
Todd Bodine all the way from the 15th starting spot up to the top 5, and now he's going for second, pushing Jason White to the lead.
Jason White takes the lead away from Elliott Sadler, and Todd Bodine goes with him to take over second.
I bet you Elliott and Hornaday said, now how'd that happen? Last restart went perfect.
I tell you, Todd Bodine pushed Jason so hard by air that they were both able to clear Elliott Sadler before they got to turn 3. Look at Kyle up high.
We've seen this before. Kyle Busch needs to get by trucks. Well, he'd have to go by him about 19 times to get back on the lead lap, but as a racer, he's going to go by trucks as many times as he can.
He wants us to talk about how fast his truck is. That's A, he owns it, so he's like, y'all look at what I got. Plus, I'm not convinced he doesn't think he can't pass him 19 times.
There's his teammate. He's going to push him by Eric Almirola, and I literally mean push him by Eric Almirola.
Remember, these bumpers don't line up. He is bump drafting with his teammate Taylor Malsom, but he's also lifting the back end of that truck up every time he hits him.
Taylor just upped his game a little bit, don't you think? Oh, shoot, the boss is behind me. I gotta go. I better get on it.
Step up this game once again.
Great side-by-side battle. There's Mike Skinner, the 5 on the outside. Rick Crawford, the 14 on the inside. Rick, a former winner here back in 2003.
That side-by-side battle was for the 7th position. See your trucks up front, top 3 in line down on the bottom. Ricky Carmichael running 4th. They start to line back up again, and everyone jockeying for position close to that yellow line.
Max Pappas and it's like Todd Bodine are up on the outside trying to make a little ground. That's the Germain Toyotas with Geico on the side of them.
Max has been impressive this entire race, and what a great week he's had so far. Raced his way into the Daytona 500 tomorrow.
Another guy that's excited is our pole sitter and now race leader, Jason White. Adam.
And Rick, they continue to coach Jason on the radio. They just told him what his gap was to second place Elliott Sadler, and then they said your truck pulls out really good, but you got to be careful with that. Michael, we know it's tough in the draft at Daytona, but how difficult is it when you're the driver out front?
Well, it's really difficult because you're trying to temper what you just said, Adam. You don't want to get too far ahead, so you roll off the gas, and all of a sudden the guy in second anticipates what you did, drives around the outside of you, brings half the field with him. So playing with that throttle, not getting too big of a lead is a very tough to manage.
Elliott Sadler takes the lead back now with the help of that 30 truck of Todd Bodine. And how about Max Pappas making the move right behind him in the 3rd position?
Great run for Max. Great week for Max, just like you said, Phil. It's the Daytona 500 that man's in. I think the 2nd Italian, he and Mario Andretti, maybe the only 2 ever to be in the Daytona 500.
And Mario did pretty well here.
Mario did pretty well all over the world.
Yeah, the world, actually. He won this Daytona 500 back in 1967.
Oh,
Jason
look at that.
White not able to hold it on the yellow line. Here comes Ron Hornaday to the inside, 3 wide.
Don't want to be in the middle.
Johnny Benson looks on the outside of Jason.
2 distinct lines, inside and outside. Here's Rick Crawford's Ford onboard.
These guys are mixing it up.
Here's Nelson Piquet Jr., my spotlight driver. On the outside, he's raced his way up close to the top 10.
Comes Timothy Peters.
Timothy Peters can get it done whether we're at Martinsville on a flat half-mile or here in Daytona. He was the breakout guy of the year last year, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. What fun it was to watch him break out, too.
He's running in the 4th spot, at number 17, K&N.
Guys are running up the hill a little bit. That's a little bit uncharacteristic from what we've seen here in the past. Ron said, Hornaday said, we're supposed to be on this yellow line, guys.
But his teammate is running up near the wall.
Oh,
now, here comes Todd Bodine looking to the inside, trying to make the pass. He brings Skinner along with him. They're going to hang out the number 2 of Elliott Sadler.
He has a slew of Toyotas behind him. He's got 4 Toyotas lined up behind him. One of those being Kyle Busch's.
Yeah, Chevrolet has never won this race in the 10 races we have been here, and it looks so promising early with Elliott Sadler and Ron Hornaday running up front, but here comes the Toyota parade.
Oh, and Mike Skinner decides he wants some of that lead. Goes around the outside of Todd Bodine. Skinner started 20th, and he's running first.
How about the 18 of Kyle Busch? He is pushing trucks around this racetrack. He pushed Timothy Peter in the 17 up to the 2nd spot. So Timothy Peters now running 2nd at Daytona.
How about Hornaday latching onto the back of Kyle Busch? He knows where Kyle Busch wants to go.
Todd trying to side draft with Kyle Busch. Here comes Hornaday up behind the 18.
Hear a little bit of a bump there. Sound like Max might have got on to Todd.
Look at Kyle.
Kyle to the outside. It looked like the 17 got a little bit loose. Maybe had to check up a little bit.
Wow.
Look at these trucks bounce around off the corner.
Sideways. We run enough laps now, Phil. We're, like I said earlier, running around on that yellow line isn't a gift. You got to work your rear end off to keep your truck down there.
Side by side as they go across the stripe again. Kyle Busch 18 in that 18 is 19 laps down, involved in the incident at the first lap.
Not anymore. He's not.
He's 18 laps down as he goes by our race leader Mike Skinner.
You know, you ask why he's out there. Because he's got corporate sponsors on the side of that truck. And also, he'd like to think...
Oh, Hornaday's in the wall.
Hornaday into the wall in the backstretch. Now Ricky Carmichael also in the 4, spinning. The 51 of Eric Almirola caught up in this. There's Johnny Benson in the 95 trying to avoid.
What a job by Nelson Piquet Jr. too, Phil.
Second time he's done a great job. Look at the damage to our champion, Ron Hornaday.
There's the 15 of Ted Musgrave.
Both the Billy Blues trucks, the 15 and the 51, tore up in this crash. There's the 51.
Unbelievable. There's Donnie Leah. We talked about him. What a great run he had going early.
Same place the last wreck occurred.
81 of David Starr.
Right in the middle of the back straightaway.
It's amazing how the straightest part of the racetrack and we have accidents. A lot of damage to that Donnie Leah truck.
You can go from extreme high, his son born yesterday, to extreme low, involved in an accident at Daytona.
What happened?
Second to Kyle Busch Motorsports truck. Taylor Malsom also involved.
That doesn't look like that is as bad as Kyle's truck. Look there, Elliott Sadler.
Right front damage to that race truck.
Both the KHI trucks involved in this accident. There's Ricky Carmichael with a lot of damage with that monster Chevrolet.
We're not going to have anybody left.
This one happened up toward the front. Again, the 3rd caution of the night. Over 6 trucks involved in this incident. Rick Crawford also involved in the 14.
See his grill pushed in. Now the truck's smoking.
Let's take a look from the DirecTV blimp at what just happened.
Watch Hornaday now.
He's the first guy I saw get out of whack.
He's side by side with Skinner.
Oh, is he going to get a bump draft from Ricky Carmichael?
They get a bump draft from Ricky Carmichael, and it may turn him.
No, I think he had a flat.
I think he had a flat tire. I don't think Ricky Carmichael ever touched him.
No, it looked like that's what it was setting up to be, but Hornaday just veered to the right. I was going down the back straightaway the other day in my cup car and blew a left rear tire, and it just drove right into the infield. He might have blown a right rear tire, and it pulled him right into the outside wall. You know, so much.
Watch, we're going to see before Ricky Carmichael gets there, that 33 truck's going to veer to the right.
It's hard to tell from that angle.
It's pretty close.
But I think from the other angle, it didn't look like Ricky ever touched him. See if we can get a better look at that. Look at Neil. That's an amazing job Nelson Piquet did there.
Let's keep an eye on it now. Boy, it almost looked from that angle like there might have been a slight contact.
If we could look back at that first one and really see, it looked like from the first look we saw from it, Ricky didn't hit him. You can see the right rear tires down on Ron's truck right there. I think
riding along with Elliott Sadler.
Keep coming on the bottom. Keep coming low, low, low. Keep coming low.
Nelson Piquet slipping by there. That's an amazing job that young man did.
Good job.
Ryan Sieg getting by as well.
Here's Crawford's view.
Or just right in front of him. Through the grass.
Really nice. Hold her straight. Hold her straight. Back up.
Again, coming right at us.
Boy, I'm telling you, from that angle, it almost looks like there was a little bit of contact, and that got right wiggling.
Let's look at what we saw the first time.
Yeah, this is from the blimp. Let's look one more time to see if there was any contact. Again, we're looking at the 4 and the 33.
He's going to pull up on him for sure.
I don't think so, Phil.
Boy, if there was contact, it was oh so slight.
Well, and I just think I think Ron had a flat tire. I really do.
It looks like right when the 4 gets to the back bumper of that truck, it starts to move to the right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so close.
Adam Alexander.
And it's always tough to judge what a driver says right after an accident because of the emotion involved. But Hornaday came on the radio right after the contact. The spinning was over, and he said simply, too much bump drafting. So he obviously felt like there was contact, and he got that same message delivered back to him from the spotter stand. Neither one of those guys have the benefit of replay like you guys do and have seen so many, but that was the word from Hornaday's radio, Rick.
Let's go back down to right.
Well, Rick, Mike Skinner was told to come to the pit road, but that message got delivered to him just a little bit too late. He was afraid that he was going to have a commitment violation back there, so he stayed out on the racetrack, and now they've kind of made their bed. They're going to stay there. But down in here in the pits, Todd Bodine tried to come down pit road, but he missed the entrance to his pit area, had to go back around, came down this time, obviously, just to stick some fuel in that Geico Toyota.
See a lot of smoke coming out of the 14. Ray was talking about the 30 of Todd Bodine missing his pit stall.
What?
He just never turned in.
Didn't see the sign, I would suppose.
Not many onions out there on pit road, but didn't catch that one. Adam Alexander.
And Jason White has already made one pit stop in this cycle. He is crossing the start-finish line now, and when he comes back around to pit road, he will come down pit lane again. He's been very, very loose. That's what he said on that run. So they discussed the changes. The first time they came down pit road at lap 33, it was a shock and chassis adjustment. They plan to come back down for tires and fuel. But guys, when you look at the attrition rate and the number of big-name drivers who find themselves now behind the 8 ball, it's hard not to think Jason White is quickly becoming a favorite. This guy's been good throughout the evening. He's set on the pole. He's proved he can do it in the draft, and right now the competition for him is dwindling.
Yeah, he's got guys like Mike Skinner and Timothy Peters that have proven they've got good trucks, right?
Got a fire down here on Rick Crawford's truck. He just came in. They're putting the fire extinguisher on it right now. There was a lot of smoke coming from underneath the engine. They're aware now that the fire was on that Lilly Trucking Ford.
They may be changing the radiator. You see the guys, the radiator's been pushed back in towards the engine. These are the trucks that were involved in this latest incident. A lot of them. Elliott Sadler so good early on. Ricky Carmichael ran well. Ted Musgrave has now been involved in both incidents. Donnie Leah had worked his way into the top 15. Ron Hornaday, our champion. Eric Almirola had a good truck. Taylor Malsom was racing up in the top 5.
Phil, I'm still not convinced that Ricky Carmichael caused this. It looks like simultaneously, just like you said, Rick, right when he got there, Hornaday veered to the outside. Now you would think that Ricky hit him, but it's so close.
And first of all, they're not in line. I mean, Ricky Carmichael's out of ways.
Okay, right there.
I think there was contact.
He might have.
I think he did hit him. You're right.
And that's how little it takes.
That's how little it takes is exactly right.
A lot of trucks involved.
And Rick, you talked about it. The bumpers don't line up on these trucks, and that's what Wayne Auten, our series director, preaches at the drivers' meeting. Think about the fact that these bumpers don't line up.
And Ricky had to say, I caused that? I mean, I just barely bumped him. And look at the aftermath.
A wild ride for a lot of trucks.